I'm scrolling through and I see an ad for this app. I can't remember the name of the app because I was like so disturbed by it that I kept scrolling. But basically it was an app and it was like a little, advertisement for it. It's some girl talking in a video. And she's like, when I found, out that an app could actually help me reverse the aging process, I was all in. And she was like, I'm so happy I joined, blah, blah. And it was basically an app that it's supposed to give you, from what I could see in like the 2 seconds that I watched the video, like tips on how much sleep you should be getting, how much water you should be drinking, food, diet, like whatever. And I remember just like, at first I just was mindlessly like, oh yeah, just another ad about like fashion, beauty, whatever. Mm-hmm. It hit me. They literally flat out said, reverse the aging process. Like they had the audacity to say this app can reverse the aging process.
It sounds like a QVC commercial that like, you fall asleep and you wake up at 2 a.m. and you're like, well, how did I get on QVC channel? And why are they trying to sell me an anti-aging cream that's $60 that only old people buy? Yeah.
No, you're so right. I love the QVC. It's always at like 5 a.m. when you're like, oh shit. And like you and your friends at a sleepover and there's Cheetos everywhere.
But you can't reverse aging. So that's false advertising.
So I was just obviously, I'm sure people are listening and they're like, okay, big deal, Shannon. There's like a million products out there that are supposed to help with aging. But just I think the fact that they said reverse, like as if I can have this app and it can give me tips on how to work out and drink water, and that my like wrinkles will go backwards and I will be like Benjamin Button. And in 10 years, I will be 15.
Yeah. Well, I think the word reverse is poor word choice because you can like slow down and prevent aging. Like obviously, drink water, wear sunscreen. Obviously that's going to prevent wrinkles. But once the damage is done, like you can't just like zap away wrinkles. Like, yeah, you can get Botox, but it's only going to like put a Band-Aid over something.
Right. Exactly. So I had 2 issues with the ad. Like the first one was you can't reverse the aging process. We age because we're getting older, and like that's what happens.
Right.
And obviously, like you said, you can get Botox or you can do whatever to like slow it down, but you can't reverse it. But the second thing that really bothers me is, I feel like we see it every day, but it wasn't just this app. It's everything out there. The whole beauty industry right now is making us so terrified of getting older. And it's not just like, yeah, Shannon, of course, like they're trying to sell products and stuff, but I feel like especially for women, the way things are targeted is always about like look younger, like look younger, like reverse wrinkles, get rid of fine lines. And it's like making us so terrified to get wrinkles, as if when that happens, we will now become undesirable and ugly and like no one will want us. And I just think that's so disgusting and toxic. And then it's the same brands that have the audacity to be like, love yourself, self-love, blah, 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 like self-care. Like I'm having like a little like self-care night, but it's like, you're also the ones telling us that we should hate ourselves once we start getting older and getting wrinkles.
They're telling us without actually telling us that you should hate yourselves. Like it's like a passive aggressive, low key, like stab you in the back. Like if you don't buy this product, you're ugly and your husband's going to cheat on you and leave you.
Exactly. And they're like, oh, self-care, like care for yourself. But they're basically like, if you don't take care of yourself, you don't have self-care nights and you're not all about self-love and self-care, then you should hate yourself because then you're going to get wrinkles if you don't use our products.
Right.
It's like so manipulative.
Well, the problem is that it's $1 billion industry and it's all targeted towards women who are suckers to, because of what society has done to us. Like we'll buy anything, we'll try anything.
Right.
Like if this is claiming to do X, Y, and Z, like, okay, like I believe it, I'm going to try it. And then we get disappointed when it, it doesn't work, or, it's not really anything that you can see instant gratification. Like it's something where, down the line, if, you wear your sunscreen, you're going to find that, when you're 40, your skin might not look like your friend who was in the tanning beds for the past 20 years. But, men wash their face with a bar of soap and they don't have a 12-step skincare routine, and they will look the same, if not better, when they're 40.
It's just like so insane to me because obviously we all like, you go into Sephora and everything you see, it's tightening, pore minimizing, fine line reducing, like reverses aging. Every single thing is making you so terrified of getting older. But then if you're a man, as long as you have a decent job and like aren't completely, unfortunate looking, if you're 40 or 50, like you can still be hot.
Right.
If you're 60, you can be hot. You can date a 20-year-old if you're 50 years old. You can date a 20-year-old if you're 60 years old.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Right. But then if you're a girl doing that shit, oh, you're a cougar.
Right.
Like that's unacceptable. And like that's risque. And I just feel like I don't I don't know. Like
double standard.
I was literally watching this TikTok the other day, and this girl was saying, she was like, we as a society like accept men, like older men dating younger girls. We're like, oh yeah, it's so normal. Like that's totally fine. She was like, why are we accepting that? Like that's weird. Why does everyone have this obsession with like being 20 or being 21? It's almost like if you're older than 24, like no longer desirable. You have to be within this like peak age. But like think about yourself when you were 20 years old. You were so like nothing against, I mean, there's very mature 20-year-olds, but I was very naive. I didn't know a lot. I still don't know a lot. I had no wisdom.
I had the body of a 12-year-old, which is not cute.
I was like, just didn't know anything about how the world worked. I hadn't made a lot of mistakes yet. I hadn't gotten a real job yet. I didn't know anything. And like the fact that we're telling girls, oh, you should desire to be that forever, that's weird. So you want a bunch of people that don't understand anything. They don't like have any common sense. They haven't suffered and been through things and learned and grown as a person. If anything, we should be excited to be in our 30s and 40s when we can, see through the bullshit and develop and mature and grow. Like that should be a good thing. And I feel like for men it is like, oh, like that guy, like he's in his 40s and he has such a good job and he just has so much wisdom and it's so attractive. But for a woman, that's not attractive. And I don't understand why.
Do you think that these men, these like 40, 50-year-old men who are dating, let's say Scott Disick, for instance, he's a great example of this. I don't know exactly. He's probably in his 40s, right?
In his 40s, and he always dates 19-year-olds.
Yeah, he dates literally children, which is concerning. But do you think that, I feel like I'm going to answer my own question because he dated someone in their 40s, but let's say it's not Scott Disick, just another 40-year-old who's dating a 20-year-old. Do you think that they are straight up not attractive to older women, or do you think it's more of like a kink of them wanting to fulfill like a father figure?
Yeah, I don't,
or both,
like having something to take care, having someone to take care of almost.
Yeah,
like that's younger than. I mean,
like, is it all aesthetics or is it?
I don't know, because I feel like it's not all aesthetics. Like there has to be something else going on. Like if a guy is in his 40s and he's only dating girls that are 19 or 20, like there has to be something more to it than just, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a psychologist, so obviously anything I say is not fact, but what my mind goes to is, a 20-year-old girl, like she probably doesn't really know what is right in a relationship. She probably doesn't know what's wrong yet. Like maybe she's had a boyfriend or two, but she probably still has a lot to learn. Maybe doesn't know like when a relationship is toxic, doesn't know when it's healthy. Like I didn't know when I was 19 what a toxic relationship looked like. I feel like a lot of us don't know until we get out of one. Mm-hmm. I feel like if you're a man who's in his 40s or 50s and you're dating girls that are 19, my mind, at least initially, goes to like, okay, well, do you want a girl that you feel like you can maybe easily, I don't want to say control, but like that doesn't really know what she should be expecting out of a man. Right. And you're kind of maybe taking advantage of that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. Not a psychologist. Don't come for me.
I think back to the whole, aging thing. I do think that society has made aging frowned upon when it shouldn't be. I feel like we need to get Tracy from 30 Flirty Surviving on the podcast because she's a prime example of like, your life doesn't end when you turn 30 and that it's actually some of your best years. And like, we shouldn't dread getting older. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like I saw that I have a couple gray hairs in my head for the first time, like ever, like recently, like within this past year, I started getting a couple and I was like, oh my God. But then I was like, wait, why do I care?
Right. Like why is it a bad thing?
It's not a big deal. Like everyone's going to, their hair is going to change different colors. It's just a matter of life.
All these people that are glamorizing being younger, they're going to themselves grow up too. At one point we were the 19, 20-year-olds or like the brand new 21-year-old at the bar for the first time. Like everyone has that. And then everyone, like there's not one person that's like, oh, I'm immune. I stayed 21. Like we all go through it. And I was at this workout class the other day and I went to like a different one than I normally go to. It was like a HIIT class by like this like college by UNH actually. Mm-hmm. And there was a bunch of college girls like working out with me. And I remember like there was a part of me that felt kind of weird. I was like, oh my God, I'm 26. And all these girls are probably like 19, 20, 21. Maybe a few of them were 22. And I felt like out of place. And I was like, I hope they don't notice I'm like older than them. And I felt like kind of awkward. But then I thought about it and I was like, why? Like they themselves are going to be 26 one day. They're going to be 30. They're going to be 35, just like we all are. Like we all like grow up, and that's fine.
They probably look up to you like, oh my God, that girl can rent a car. She's over 25.
I just like think about, and I don't even know how entirely true this is, but I remember I was reading some book about Audrey Hepburn, and she like refused, I think she might have gotten a nose job, but I'm pretty sure she like refused to get Botox. And she was like, don't you dare touch a single one of those wrinkles. I've earned every single one.
Aww.
And I just felt like that was, not to get emotional, but I felt like that was just so like kind of pure and like sweet, because the reason why we get gray hairs and wrinkles is because we've experienced life and we know more and we understand more things and we're maturing. And I feel like that's a good thing. And I feel like we need to like accept that, as I literally get Botox every week. But